You're listening to a production of the National Media Archive. To learn more or volunteer, go to nationalmediaarchive.com.
The markets closed in the green across the board. The Standard & Poor's 500 inched up 0.22%, finishing at $6,285.75. The Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 0.29%, settling at $44,640. The Nasdaq rose 0.18%, ending the day at $22,937.75. The yield on the 10-year United States Treasury note moved up to 4.42%, climbing 1.05%. The CBOE Volatility Index dropped to 16.81, down more than 4%, showing calmer waters for now. Gold prices dipped slightly by 0.22%, landing at $3,300 to $2.20 per ounce. Crude oil ticked up 0.16% to $68.39 a barrel. Bitcoin edged higher too, closing up 0.73% at $108,964.83. Merck announced a $10 billion deal to acquire Verona Pharma, a biotech company focused on treating respiratory diseases. This acquisition values Verona Pharma at $107 per American depositary share, which is a 23% premium over the last close. The deal is expected to wrap up in the fourth quarter of 2025 and will strengthen Merck's lineup for chronic respiratory care. Jeff Bezos just sold about $666 million worth of Amazon stock. This is part of a prearranged plan to sell up to 25 million shares by May 2026. Even with this big sale, Bezos remains Amazon's biggest shareholder, holding roughly 900 million shares valued at nearly $200 billion. Starbucks is in the spotlight in China. The company's business in China is now valued at up to $10 billion as major investment firms like Centurium Capital and KKR & Company are putting in bids for a stake. The sale comes at a time when competition in China's coffee market is heating up and growth is slowing down. China currently makes up 8% of Starbucks' total global revenue. Air Test Systems shared an update that shows just how fast artificial intelligence is reshaping its business. Revenue from artificial intelligence processor burn-in services now makes up more than 35% of total revenue, compared to 0 last year. Even though total revenue slipped 11% year over year to $59 million, the company sees big potential ahead for its artificial intelligence testing systems. Eli Lilly scored a win, with the Food and Drug Administration giving the green light for a label update on its Alzheimer's treatment, Kisunla. The new dosing schedule cuts adverse events by up to 41%, boosting safety and treatment success for patients living with Alzheimer's disease. Johnson & Johnson successfully defended its neurology drug Invega Sustenna in court. The United States Appeals Court blocked Viatris and Teva Pharmaceutical from launching generic versions, protecting Johnson & Johnson's hold on a drug that pulls in $3.1 billion in annual revenue. Cogent Biosciences announced plans to raise $200 million through a public stock offering. The capital will help push forward the development and launch of bezuclastinib, its promising drug candidate, along with covering other corporate needs. Kura Sushi USA is eyeing more growth. The sushi chain forecasts 20% unit expansion and expects sales to hit $281 million for fiscal year 2025. In the latest quarter, the company brought in $74 million in sales and plans to open 15 new locations to keep the momentum going. Apple is taking another swing at Formula One. Talks are underway to secure United States media rights for Formula One after the success of Apple's Formula One-themed movie. The current rights sit with ESPN, but expire after the 2025 season. If Apple locks this in, the next broadcast deal could jump significantly in value, reshaping how Americans watch Formula One. Renault is bracing for a leadership shakeup. Luca de Meo is stepping down to take the top spot at Kering, so Renault is lining up an interim chief executive officer. The automaker is considering candidates from inside the company to keep operations steady during the transition. Gray Media just priced a $900 million notes offering. The goal is to refinance existing debt and fund corporate activities. These notes are due in 2032 and come with a 9.625% interest rate, which is higher than originally planned. Berks Group locked in a $9 million Canadian deal to acquire European Boutique. The luxury company is adding a licensing agreement for Diamonds Direct and backing it up with a new $13.5 million Canadian term loan. The move expands Berks Group's high-end offerings. Alvotech has acquired Ivers Lee Group to build out its assembly and packaging capabilities. This strategic buy supports Alvotech's upcoming biosimilar product launches and aims to meet growing worldwide demand for affordable alternatives. Azelis is also growing its footprint. The company expanded in Italy by buying Azienda Chimica e Farmaceutica, a distributor of specialty raw materials. This acquisition strengthens Azelis's position in the Italian market and broadens its lineup of specialty products. Wrapping up with what analysts are watching, China's push in the artificial intelligence race is still raising eyebrows. Reports highlight how smuggled NVIDIA chips could supercharge China's next wave of technology advances. At the same time, China's $48 billion chip development plan is heating up competition and putting pressure on major players like ASML, Cadence Design Systems, and Synopsys. Advanced Micro Devices, or AMD, rebounded after jitters during Prime Day rattled tech stocks. The bounce back shows investor confidence remains strong despite short-term volatility. NVIDIA stays in the headlines too. The company's chief executive officer sold more shares, adding to a trend of insiders cashing out while the stock keeps climbing. Another NVIDIA insider also offloaded $35 million worth of shares, sparking fresh debates about whether the chip giant's rally has more room to run. These moves, from fresh acquisitions to patent wins, shape how investors see everything from biotech and retail to artificial intelligence and semiconductors.